You are listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast brought to you by Birmingham Live. Hello, welcome back to the Claret and Blue podcast this Friday morning, bang on 10 o'clock. We said we were going to start at 10. We've actually started on time for a change. I'm Dan Robertson, joined this morning by Ashley Priest. Ash, you all right, mate?
Yeah, I need a haircut. My hair's looking dodgy, mate. I need a trim, but I'm all good, yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned hair because I had to pop out this morning and I've put my woolly hat on. I've got hat hair, so I've been trying to sort mine out and I haven't.
I've got bedhead on.
But we're here to talk about more important things than hair. Obviously, Aston Villa and the transfer window. It's all hotting up, isn't it? And we're getting closer to the deadline day on Monday, I think it is. But the obvious one to start is Callum Chambers. Totally out of the blue yesterday. That one announced at 7 o'clock or something last night, and straight out of the Danny Ings handbook, wasn't it? That it just signed, done. No one knew anything about it.
No messing. I was down goals at Perry Bar, 5-a-side, and coming off the pitch afterwards, had a good game down there. Come off, my mate's got his phone up. Seen this? Is the Callum Chambers stuff? I went, you what? What's going on here? And crazy. Got in my car, checked it all out. What's going on? But yeah, fair play to Villa, keeping it under wraps, and they're going at the business quite quietly as well, and very aggressive in the transfer window, getting the men. They sounded Callum Chambers out, and they've got him. No messing around, yeah. A bit like the blue, like you say, Dan, with mirrors the Danny Ings, doesn't it? Villa have signed Danny Ings all of a sudden back in the summer. It just came out the blue then as well. So, but yeah, on the face of it, Dan, I think it's quite a shrewd signing. Obviously, he's been around the block. He's proven at the highest level. 150 Premier League appearances, playing in Europe 30-odd times. And yeah, been at a big club like Arsenal that knows the pressure of playing for a club like that as well. So we'll come in. I think he'll provide good competition for Ezri Konsa on that right-sided centre-back. But also very versatile. I think he's played 40 games in central midfield, holding as well. So I don't know whether Gerrard's buying a Swiss Army knife kind of player here, could play a few roles, and whether the Bentancur stuff comes off, we'll see. I think negotiations are continuing there, but played at right back many times as well, Callum Chambers. So yeah, on the face of it, I don't think it's costing Villa a transfer fee. They're covering his wages, and he signed a 3.5-year deal. So looks good. I think Chambers himself needs a fresh start. He's out the reckoning at Arsenal, and yeah, on the face of it, it's an upgrade on Tuanzebe for me as well. So I'm all for it. Yeah, very very good business from Villa.
Before we get actually stuck into speaking about Chambers, just a quick one. Do you like the way that Villa operate when they do stuff like that, just announcing the deal out of the blue? To me, that kind of feels like how transfers should be done. I don't want to hear about it for weeks on end. Obviously,
yeah, 100%. I mean, other journalists will probably say, no, we want to get the scoops first. But yeah, I like what they're doing. Very classy. They're announcing it. No rumours beforehand. It's not a saga. It's not drawn out. Look at the Bentancur stuff. It's getting a bit tiresome now, isn't it? What's happening there? We want to know. And then Callum Chambers pops along. The Grealish stuff in the summer was a bit of a saga, wasn't it? It was getting tiresome as well. There've been a few examples, but yeah, Villa's business, they've got to be applauded. I know Johan Langer, he hates stuff getting out into the media. I know that for a fact, and he wouldn't have liked the Bentancur stuff and other bits and bobs been dripping out. So yeah, but Villa like to be a closed book in terms of the transfer stuff, and I'm all for that as long as it gets the business over the line. I think part of that's due to stop other clubs from coming in as well. I think if Newcastle have seen Chambers was available, I think they might have come over the top and offered him stupid money. So I think Newcastle have a big say in that now as well. And yeah, I like it. And player over the line and just so quick and so efficient, so aggressive. It's job done.
It's funny that you mentioned Newcastle. I saw somebody tweet this morning saying it feels like a player that Newcastle should probably have got in for. Somebody like Callum Chambers, not like a flashy signing. You're not going to spend 30-40 million on this centre-back, right-back, backup player, but does a job in a squad and has experience and is probably needed in a squad like Newcastle's. So where does he fit in for Villa then? Is it just as simple as he's Tuanzebe's replacement?
Well, you look at it like that, yeah. I think we've got the right-sided centre-backs, Konsa and Chambers. Left-sided centre-backs, Horse and Mings. That's an obvious. But, like you say, I mean, Kane Kessler picked up an injury for the 23s. I was there on Monday. I don't know how long he's out for now. And Chambers has played more games at right-back than at centre-back in his career, would you know? Because he's filled in there for Arsenal. Arsenal had problems at right-back. So, yeah, I think he. I called him a little Swiss Army knife earlier. I think he comes into play. He can fill in a number of positions. I think he's played 40 games. He's started there in central midfield holding. So he's a very good footballer. Some of my Arsenal colleagues, he gets a bit of unnecessary criticism. He's a good footballer, good on the ball playing centre half. So I think he'll fit into Gerrard's system nicely. And yeah, I think he's one who's I would say happy to sit on the bench, but he's been used to sitting on the bench, and I think he needs his fresh start now. He's got the carrot to try and dislodge contract the team, which will be a task in itself. But yeah, there's positions up for grabs. I mean, if Kessler aren't injured now, if Cash picks up an injury or suspension, I think Chambers slots in there. Likewise, if Villa struggle with the Bentancur and struggle to get a midfielder in before deadline day, with negotiations proving tough at the moment, I think Chambers comes in. I think he adds height in there, big physical presence, which is good from set pieces, like we know, Dan. So yeah, a lot to like about this. I think he fits into a number of positions, and no brainer, effectively a free transfer. He comes into the dressing room. He knows Danny Ings and Matt Target from his days at Southampton. Knows Courtney Horse from these England under-21 days. Been around the block, and Martinez as well from Arsenal, of course. So he knows the dressing room, fits in really well. I remember Dean Smith used to have a big worry about adaptation, players coming in and adapting. And there'll be no problem here. Callum Chambers, I've seen his interview yesterday, speaks well. I think Gerrard likes him as well. So yeah, fits into a number of positions, and he's an upgrade on Tuanzebe.
Yeah, and that what you just said at the end there is the perfect way to sum it up. I think he's an upgrade on a squad player that we don't have anymore because Tuanzebe's gone. When I initially saw it, I just thought, I assume this is just a loan, and almost just scrolled past it and didn't think about it, and then saw it as a permanent deal. I thought it's a smart bit of business. I think there's a few comments coming through already just saying he's rubbish, or stronger words than that. I'm sure you can imagine what people are saying in the comments. It's like I just described him as earlier, not flashy. Wouldn't look at Callum Chambers and go, oh, he's a player we should go after, but like you said, a suitable squad player that adds a bit of competition and a bit of depth. I just finished reading Steven Gerrard's book, by the way, and the way he describes like assessing players, even as a player himself, he kind of knew from the first training session whether a player would make it or not. Obviously, there's a bit of hindsight with a book that you can look back and go, oh yeah, well he was rubbish, so I can say afterwards, yeah, I knew straight away he wasn't going to make it. I trust Steven Gerrard as the player and a coach, as the manager, to assess these players and make these decisions better than we can. And yeah, he might not have had the best time at Arsenal, might not be the flashiest player going, but if he does a good job for Villa going forward, he's got a fresh slate, hasn't he? And that's
exactly. Yeah, the pedigree's there. I mean, he cost Arsenal $18.5 million back in 2014. So the caliber's there. You just need to rediscover a bit of form. I think he needs a fresh start again, reset. Got a bit stale at Arsenal for him. So why not do it at Villa? Constant, Chambers, Mings and Horse, 4 English centre-halves there. Lots to like about it.
Yeah. Mark Dow says, need class, not everyone's rejects. Well, Emi Martinez was an Arsenal reject, and he's one of the best goalkeepers in the league now. You've got to give him a fresh start at the club and support him, and that's that, isn't it? Andre says, I like it. Swiss Army knife, good, smart business. Steven Gerrard's got a good head on him. A few questions about DM as well, and we'll get to Bentancur and Luiz and all those kind of guys towards the end of this. But Matty Cash is the one I wanted to talk about next. Obviously, Chambers, you're looking at him going, he's a centre-back option, but like you said, he's playing more games at right-back. And then links with Matty Cash to Atletico Madrid, I'm seeing for 40 million in the summer, and you kind of think, where the hell's that come from? So can you just shed a bit of light on what's going on with Matty Cash?
I had a message come through at 10:20 yesterday morning. Cash in talks with Madrid, summer transfer more likely at this stage, but January not ruled out. Other clubs interested, 30 to 40 million. And that's from a source who's really good solid source of mine. And yes, I thought, Cash, he could be in there. A few bits later, he said, Atletico, like you say. They fancy him. And did a bit of digging, spoke to people close to Cash yesterday. I mean, they didn't rule it out. They said he's very much happy at Villa. He's got a new place now. He's settled. He's let me sort my blinds out now. I'm getting blind.
It's all right. We'll edit that out afterwards.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Cash is very much settled here. He's big part of Gerrard's plans, wants to push Villa into Europe, and he's loving life under Gerrard as well and thriving. And he didn't quash the rumours. And obviously with Trippier going to Newcastle, Diego Simeone wants a new right back, and Matty Cash is pretty decent as well, and I think he'd fit into an Atletico kind of thing. So, there's interest there. But from my understanding, Cash is here to stay. Villa are going to look to time to a new contract. No new contract talks have opened up yet. He's on a deal till 2025. So, 30 to 40 million's been bandied around.
Would you take that? Is that a good price?
It's an interesting
Profit.
one. I can't believe he's only been here 16 months, Cash. I mean, it feels like he's been here 5 years at right back. Such has been his level of consistency and pretty much an ever-present. He's the only player to have played every Premier League match this season for Villa. So it's interesting, like you say, 30 to 40 million. I mean, Cash, there's more to come from Cash. It's an interesting one. It'd be a business decision from Villa's point of view. I don't know what the comments are saying. What do you reckon? I like
Cash.
Cash.
Is going anywhere. Cash is going nowhere. The Cash rumours are concerning. So I'd say I like Matty Cash. I actually really like him. He's not the best right back in the world. He's definitely can improve, certainly going forward. His end product and his crossing could be improved. I immediately look at that and think, is he Atletico Madrid level? Probably not. But if we sign him for 15, 16 million or something, and then 16 months later you get an offer of 40, if you sign players for a decent price and make a profit on them and improve the squad again, then I'm kind of all for that. But I would like Matty Cash to stick around. I'd like to see more from him. I'd like him to learn more under Gerrard and improve his game. And then looking at 50 and 60 million rather than 30. So exactly. I'd rather keep him. I don't like the squad disruption either. He's only been here 16 months, and then you got to start changing the lineup again. You've got Dinas on the left hand side now. Do you really want to change the right hand side as well in the same season? I don't know. It's obviously you've got Kessler Hayden coming through as well. Do you think there's anything in the Chambers deal that has maybe kind of turned a few heads to go, Villa have signed a right back, so Cash might be available?
I mean, it does make you think, doesn't it? Knowing Chambers,
it's a bit of a lazy link.
Well, it does make you think because obviously Chambers has played the majority of his football at right back now for Arsenal, so it does make you think. But I'm with you with this one. I think Cash should stay. He's 24. He's just become a Polish international as well. He's really kicking on. I think there's more gears to come from him, especially under Gerrard now. And like you say, disruption. If Cash wants to go this window, a couple of days left, 40 million for cash in, you're leaving themselves short. So what's the point in that? I mean, in the summer maybe it might come round again, but from now until the summer, Villa need to sound out a replacement. That'll be the bottom line of that. But I'm a big Cash fan. I like him. I like his all-in attitude. I like what he brings to the side. Okay, final ball. He even spoke about that last week in an interview. He's doing extras behind the scenes. He wants more assists. He needs to pick up his stats that way. But defensively, I think he's been okay. He's solid. He's only been playing right back 3 seasons now. He was a central midfielder and a right winger at Forest. I like him. I like his game. I think Kessler and Cash are pretty decent from now until the summer and beyond. I think with the interest that's there from Atletico, I've been told it as well. I think Villa will sound out a right back should that decision be made. So, but I'm a big Cash fan. Hope he stays. He's on a long-term deal here. I think he's kicking on now under Gerrard, and I'd love to turn down a bid. We'll see.
If there was any kind of concern with that Gerrard didn't rate him, I trust the manager to make those decisions. I trust the club to make the business decision that money is too good to turn down, and it helps FFP and all those kind of things. And if you replace it, and if you replace him, and the squad improves, then that's football, isn't it, to an extent? But kind of the perfect scenario here from Sean. He says Cash is one of the most consistent players. He's class. Get him a new contract. If Gerrard can improve his final third, crosses and assists, he'll be worth 50 to 60, and that's another level, then, isn't it? So. Yeah. I would prefer a sale to Atletico Madrid to another Premier League side in terms of affecting Villa in the future, but I'd rather Cash stays and until anything further develops, then that's the end of it for me, I think.
Yeah.
The one that doesn't go away is Douglas Luiz and Rodrigo Bentancur. We talked about it a couple of days ago. Has anything happened since the last time we spoke? Because it doesn't really feel like it.
Well, it was last week. I asked Gerrard about Douglas Luiz. What's his contract situation saying? Obviously, Todd Martin is down to a long-term one. Courtney Horse as well. And other than Tyrone Mings, Douglas Luiz has racked up the most Premier League appearances for Villa since promotion, and he's been a key part
of it. Mad that is. That doesn't feel like that must be true, but it is.
It is, yeah. And just he's been so key to Villa since promotion, Douglas Luiz. I'm a big fan of him. I do get the criticism of his. I think there is more to come. I think he can coast through games, and I think that's what Gerrard's message was last week. We want more from him. But obviously, colleague John Percy at The Telegraph reporting yesterday, Villa preparing a new deal for Douglas Luiz, and we've seen countless reports since then. Villa have turned down bids of as much as £30 million from him from an unnamed Premier League club. Arsenal are keen on him. Edu, their technical director at Arsenal, he likes him, a fellow Brazilian, knows what he's about, and Arsenal are keen. So, yeah, I mean, it's a funny one. I know Douglas is settled here. He has been vital for Villa, key for them staying up in that Project Restart. And if you want, I think Gerrard said last week, he wants a big squad. He wants to forward on 3 fronts next season in the Cups. He wants to take Villa into Europe. And I think Douglas Luiz at 23, Brazilian international, there's a lot to like about him for me. I think he's filling a gap at present in the Nakamba. I prefer Luiz a bit higher up. Good on the ball, rarely gives it away. Good technician. You want to keep these players around. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. It's going to rumble on, I think, till deadline day. I think we'll know more then. I think Arsenal could come on strong, on the Monday. They could table a big bid, want to get one in to appease the fans maybe. And Douglas could be that one. But yeah, again, Chambers coming in, he can fill that number 6 gap, and we've got Sanson in there, could do a job. And then Bentancur, what happens there? There's a lot. I think dead or down. We could be in for a busy shift on Monday. I'm sad to say it. But,
when I first started with the company, it was September 2019, I think. So my first deadline day was obviously the winter one.
Yeah.
And I remember on the day of thinking, oh, it's exciting, like a 12-hour shift. Like, let's see how this goes, working in the industry, see what happens. And I think did we sign Samata that season? Was that deadline day?
That was early in the window. Borja Baston was the deadline day one.
That's right, yeah. So that was an absolute damn squib, wasn't it? And since then, I don't think we did anything deadline day in the summer afterwards. And obviously we were knocked down on those kind of things. And I soon quickly realised that deadline day isn't as exciting and as attractive proposition as you think. So I'm all geared up for Monday being quiet and thinking, oh, why am I working 12 hours here? There's nothing happening. So hopefully for my sake and your sake, something does happen. But if it's outgoings on deadline day, as a football fan, first and foremost, I don't want to see Villa losing players on deadline day because you can't replace them. I don't want to see Douglas Luiz signing for Arsenal for 40 million on deadline day. Yes, it's good money and it's a player running out of contract, but if we haven't signed a midfielder to replace him, bad move, that is.
Another point, Dan, as well. I think we're rivaling Arsenal now. I think we're trying to bridge that gap. He's selling to a direct rival for me. And Douglas Luiz, I think next 3 to 4 years when he's 27, 28, he could be real good performer, Champions League. I'm talking about that. So Villa could rule that one if they were to sell to a direct rival. So yeah, I think that comes into play. I mean,
some things like he's not signed a contract, is he? So if they're offering one and he rejects it, he won't be worth 40 million the longer this goes on. Obviously, the more his contract goes down, the lower the value is. So they might think, well, we know he's not going to sign it, so yeah, let's cash in and replace him. But I don't know, I just don't see it. If like I said, if you sell him and you've got a replacement, then I kind of understand it. But if you're just going to let him go because you've got a big bid flash your way on deadline day and then you're left without a player for the rest of the season, I just don't like that. It just feels a little bit amateur to let that happen. But I can't really blame Villa if it does.
Yeah, this January window is not ideal anyway. I mean, if you're selling players, you leave yourself short. You want replacements in. Hence the Juventus stuff with Bentancur. I know they're signing Fiorentina striker for big money, 75 million euros. But the one on midfielder to replace Bentancur should he leave. So that's the stumbling block at the moment. Juve don't want to leave themselves short, and that's the case with every club in this window, Dan. So yeah. I mean, Douglas Luiz, if you're asking me now, I think he stays beyond this window. I think Villa will look to tie him up on a new long-term contract once the window shuts, and we'll see from there. But you never know. Arsenal could come on strong, and I expect Villa to turn them down, to be honest. But like you say, if this was to rumble on into the summer, Douglas Luiz's value decreases tenfold, doesn't it? I mean, he's 12 months left on his deal in the summer. What are you looking at there?
You'd be looking at 15 again, wouldn't you? Which is what we're signing for. But exactly. it's a big step down from 40. 100%. I think they'll reject any bids in January, and then they've got the rest of the season to really show their ambition and say, look, this is what we're planning. This is how we've got on for the rest half of the season. This is what Steven Gerrard's trying to build. This is what we're trying to do here. Do you want to be a part of it? This is the direction we're heading. We've pushed up this amount of places. This is the ambition for next season. And if they can get him to sign a contract before the summer, then he's a player that sticks around and is part of the squad to help push Villa back into Europe. If he doesn't agree with that or he's not on board with it, then you sell him in the summer and that's that. And you take the hit on the fee that you could have got in January, and that's football, isn't it? You'd rather keep your best players around, and I don't think there's any doubt to say that Luiz will go on to be a very good player. He's only 23, so you keep those kind of assets around. You don't just sell them at the first sight of a bid. Do we know we take any guesses at who that rejected bid might have come from? Everyone's saying Newcastle, but
Newcastle, no, but then for the Guimaraes from Lyon. So, yeah, nobody knows really, Dan. But the suitors there, I mean, the Roma interest in the summer was genuine as well. They were really keen on him. That didn't happen either. So he'll have suitors. I mean, he's got so much pedigree, hasn't he? He's only 23. It's just scary, that is. He's clocked up nearly 100 appearances for Villa now. And for me, I like him. I really like him. I know
it's frustrating, but there's a good player in there.
He needs to do a little bit more. I think that's why Gerrard's been really good at press conferences. He's really open about contract situations. I spoke to him about Carney's, and he gave a pretty telling comment there, saying he wants him to stay, but he speak to Carney, he told me, which I can't do. But yeah, Douglas Luiz, I think with his comments last week, he said, I want a bit more from him, I think he'll have a look at him over the next few months. And then I think he's challenging him. Come on, we need a bit more from you. We need to start bossing games now. Yeah. But yeah, he's filling a gap at the moment for Nakamba. I prefer Douglas a little bit higher, but we'll see. But I like him. And I think if Joe wants a big squad, I think Douglas stays around then.
Yeah. Let's go through a couple of quick fire questions then. Any more new info, I guess, on our new owners, new MLS team? Is there any further developments?
We need to ask Matt if we can go on the Las Vegas tour.
That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Do some filming, Dan. Go and interview Wes Edens. Have a coffee with him.
Oh, that'll definitely happen, won't it?
Oh, yeah. Expenses, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I did a story this week. Nothing Villa related, but they're cracking on with a stadium plan now. Wes Edens, 30 to 35,000 seater stadium in Vegas, not far from the Strip. So plans are in place to build a stadium. He was asked about the Las Vegas Villains name, and he refused to confirm that if it will be the Villains. But they've trademarked that last June. They trademarked that name, so that's quite telling. Was it 268 million? It's going to cost Edin Suarez to bring a new franchise to the MLS. There'll be the 30th team there. And yeah, Edin spoke well about the developing talent. He wants. I think the Vegas Villains, as it were, will probably become a feeder club to Villa. You look at the talent USA are developing now. You look at Weston McKennie, Christian Pulisic. They're really kicking on now. The United States. I mean, Albion have signed Daryl DK for big money as well. He's a decent striker. So I think they're tapping into that. Big population, like we know. And soccer is coming on strong over there. So, yeah, exciting times and one to keep an eye on. And, yeah, I think an MLS team there. It's interesting. Seen a few stories, quite funny, actually, that people are talking about Suarez coming to Villa in the summer and then he'll go to Vegas to be their new star sign, which is quite interesting. But yeah.
It's not a bad shout, to be honest.
I know. But, yeah, plans in place. And, yeah, I think we've seen that team in Egypt, ZFC. Villa will be a feeder club. There'll be a feeder club to Villa as well in Egypt as well. So look at the populations Villa are tapping into. Egypt, America. They're trying to find the next Mo Salah or someone like that, aren't they? So I think they'll go to other areas of the world as well. I think Man City have got something like eight feeder clubs. Melbourne, New York, Mumbai. Yeah. So Villa are mirroring that model, to be honest with you. So, yeah, exciting. And yeah, I mean, Vegas, baby. What's that to like?
Back to the Midlands and other stadium plans. Tom Morris says, what do you think? Build a new stadium or build on Villa Park? And Jason says, love Villa Park as it is, but we do need to get with the times and think bigger. And I thought of building a new stadium.
In your face then, Dan.
Oh, not for me. Not for me at all. I know the infrastructure around Villa Park isn't brilliant and the transport links and the roads and all that kind of stuff. And just the thought of having, like, you know, when you go to these modern stadiums and they're just in the middle of nowhere and not for me. Villa Park's tradition, you got to keep it. Upgrading it, filling in the corners, all those kind of things, new stands, on board with all that, new car parks, new club shops.
Yes.
You can't be knocking down Villa Park, that's criminal.
No way. Like you say, it's just an iconic stadium. And the owners have said that as well. They're not going to touch it too much either. I think the North Stand's the one, isn't it? There'll be developments there. New club store, hotel. There's plans in place, but I've been badgering the council for this. Any update regards to the Villa plans, but there's nothing yet. Nothing's been lodged. We heard from Christian Perslow back in, I think, November, and he said there was an update due to come shortly. So we're yet to see that. But yeah, like you say, transport links need to be improved upon. I think the whole infrastructure around Villa Park needs to be improved as well. But yeah, don't touch Villa Park. Just driving past it gives me goosebumps seeing the Alton and the brickwork and stuff like that. Just leave it as it be. it's a lot of people's favourite grounds, isn't it? Gary Neville spoken about it as well. And yeah, leave it be. I love it, I do.
Yeah, me too. Mark Wilson says, with all these new signings, there's competition for each position. Do you think the younger lads are going to find it harder to break through? I mean, that's a concern, isn't it? If we've got this talented academy that win the FA Youth Cup and are supposed to be the next crop of Villa coming through, you might look at that and think, well, why sign somebody like Callum Chambers rather than give X player a go instead? Is that a concern, do you think?
Not a concern, but we heard from Purslow 2 weeks ago now saying when Gerrard come in, he told Purslow, I want to improve the age profile of the club. It's a young team, inexperienced team. I want to bring winners in. So it's interesting. I mean, Gerrard likes to bring in the youth. He did it at Rangers as well. And well, yeah, I mean, got to be patient. I mean, he's bringing Carney, Chuck Mowaker on in games. I mean, Villa were 1-0 up with 20 minutes to go at the last weekend. And under the cosh. And there was Ashley Young on the bench and Morgan Sanson, 2 experienced pros in there. And he brings Carney on. So that was quite telling for me. So he's prepared to give them a chance. I mean, he's kept a few of them around the first team sessions. Tim Bruno, 19-year-old midfielder. He's been in first team sessions ever since Gerrard come. So he's having a good look at him. Kane Kessler, he likes him. He watched him on the box on that Friday night against City. Gave him about. Next day, he's back at Bodymore. I want him in. I want to have a look at him. So, yeah, I mean, there's no rush for these 18-year-olds for me. But they need these loan deals. We've seen Cameron Archer scoring the week against the Albion, which is brilliant. Keenan Davis is kicking on now at Forest. It's about their careers. I mean, I think the loans, they need to go out on loan, play some games, get scoring again, get some form, come back to Villa better players, and then it'll be up to Gerrard then to assess them after kicked on. He looks good now. We'll get him involved. And I think Gerrard wants a big squad. He wants to win cups. You know, he wants to have a good go at the Carabao Cup next season, FA Cup as well. He was gutted with the draw, having Man U away, 3rd round, typical. Ran him close that night as well. But yeah, he wants to go out on 3 fronts next season: Premier League, League Cup, and FA Cup. And he wants a big squad to do that. And some of the youngsters will be given a chance. I think I'm watching Louis Barry closely. He was good the other night on Monday. I think he'll be loaned out before deadline day. And then it'll be remains to be seen. They've got to impress in the summer, Dan. You saw what Cameron Archer did last summer, that summer training camp. He banged in a hat-trick in an in-house game. And next thing you know, he started in the Carabao Cup, scored 3 at Barrow, and there's a whole host of clubs queuing up for him. That can happen. And if injuries occur to first-team players, youngsters will come in. So it's about taking your chance. And yeah, I mean, I think he's given Carney a good crack this season. So I don't get why he's reluctant to sign, but we'll see. But yeah, like you said, I think the youngsters need to go out on loan, prove themselves, and come back to Villa better players, and force them and give Gerrard a decision to make. Yeah,
lovely to see Cameron Archer scoring against the Albion the other day as well. That's always going to go down a treat, isn't it? I think that's pretty much it in terms of questions from the Facebook comments. The last one I wanted to just get a quick roundup on was potential outgoings. Again, obviously seeing Newcastle, Ashley Young rejected a chance to go there, which again, kind of funny. And as I said at the start about Chambers not being a flashy signing, I still kind of think that's the signings Newcastle needs. Somebody like Chambers, somebody like Ashley Young, that bit of experience and something to offer the club as a whole, because attitude in terms of that kind of stuff. So just a quick update, 1 or 2 minutes. What's the situation with Villa's players? You're talking there about Gerrard being on the phone to Kessler Hayden to get him back. Maybe it's cash out, Chambers in, Kessler Hayden back up. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I mean, Kessler's picked up an injury on Monday, but there's talk of him going out now again, just to get some minutes, and it'll be Cash and Chambers from here on in, and Chambers filling in at centre back. But I can't see that happening. We'll see. There's clubs queuing up to take Kessler Hayden, and he's so highly rated, as we know. A couple of young lads ahead out: Brad Young, Louis Barry. Expect them to go out on loan, League 2 clubs, sniffing around them. They need some match minutes. And yeah, that's it really. We've seen the Ashley Young link with Newcastle, Watford, Roy Hodgson keen on Young as well. But I like Young's good to have around. He's one of Gerrard's lieutenants within the squad. Be very good behind the scenes, Dan, and them players are worth their weight in gold. I was at Goodison last week, and Young was with Kessler, Chuck Mowaker, and with the young lads, and he's good to bounce off. Young, he's been there, done it. Won everything there is to win, and he's good to have around the squad. Gerrard was asked about Young's contract situation as well. He hasn't sat down with him yet, but I'd take another year on him. I really would, given what he brings behind the scenes. So decision on national will be made soon. His contract's up in the summer, as we know. But yeah, in terms of outgoings, I can't see anything happening. Touch wood, apart from a couple of the young lads heading out on loan. So yeah, Cash, Douglas, Luiz, I think they'll stay, mate.
Do we know whether Young's done any of his coaching badges, by the way? Or has he got any ambitions of coaching?
I'm not sure. I don't believe so. I haven't been told that, but it wouldn't surprise me if he is. That's something you do, isn't it? And watching him from afar, he does love the game, doesn't he? He keeps himself in fantastic shape for 36. You don't do that if you love the game as much as he does.
Just the way he's talked before about like his game management and stuff like that, and when it cuts to the subs bench, he's kind of stood up quite a lot around the coaches, getting involved and pointing and stuff. Not that he's giving instructions like he's a coach, but he's not just sat there thinking, well, I'm not playing, so I'm not getting involved. So I just wonder whether, again, reading Gerrard's book, he talks about when he left Liverpool, if he'd been offered a chance of sticking around and working his way into the coaching team, he would have taken that rather than leave. I wonder whether Ash Young also, say, going to Newcastle for a year and not really doing a lot, start at Villa another year and have a pathway into coaching. But again, if he's not interested in being a coach or doing any badges, that won't happen. It's just a thought off the top of my head. I'll ask
it next time if he's doing it. But it makes sense for me. He's one of the coach. He's like a coaching staff in himself, isn't he? Oh, when Sanson booted the water bottle, he just looked at him, gave him a stare. Didn't he, mate? Don't do that. It's standards. Come on. Yeah. So he's one of Gerrard's right hand men. Standard Seth Gerrard's called him, and great to see him. Prime example for the young lads to follow, isn't he? So I'd be keen to get him for another year and see if he wants to step up to the coaching staff. 100%.
Yeah, me too. We'll call it a day there. Ash, thank you very much this Friday morning. We've done half an hour of a chat and answered most questions that came through. I think we've covered most of the topics, and we'll see what develops over the weekend and then into deadline day for a big shift for the both of us. I'm sure there'll be plenty of video updates on Monday itself, and we'll do some kind of podcast next week to assess the transfer window as a whole when it's all done and dusted. So Ash, thanks for your time as always. Thanks for the comments for flying through, and we'll catch you again Monday. Thank you for listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please do let us know. We love hearing your feedback. We'll be back soon with another episode, but until then, up the Villa.